Ah, yes. Live we are indeed. It's good. It's good to be back. Let's just spread the news. Spread the news so that people can join. Join the fun party that is late nights. Late night streaming, yeah. Well, really? Okay. And people are coming in. That's good. That is really good. How has everyone's Sunday been? So while people are coming in and starting, to fill up the chat, I'll just go through quickly some Twitter stuff. Yes, I still call it Twitter. Yes, I do. Let's have a look here quickly. Here we have gold and silver versus platinum and palladium. I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? Bit of a inverse head and shoulder, looking back 50 years. Again, platinum looks good, but silver and gold seems to be better, no? This one here I did find very interesting. That is, hey John. That is silver. This is Mary, more of a day trader, but I seem to like her posts a lot. She seems very on point. So hopefully this is true. Again, we have a bit of a bearish mindset going into the week here with metals basically hanging on a cliff right now. So that would be great, personally, to get that, get into that whole 78 and then go back to 90. If we do, that would mean a breakout of the trend line, which we will look at in just a moment here. So that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Gold here, the same thing from Mary. She expects a move here from 5k back to roughly 5.1k. I'll take it. Jensen here, David, a guy I had on as well. Really cool guy. He knows a lot about the fundamentals behind how things are running. Definitely worth a view. What else? This one here again, I noticed over the weekend we have XLF breaking down. This is the banking sector, by the way, or the financial sector. Bit of a nasty breakdown here. Right, this is the weekly breakdown. And yeah, banking sector, financials right now under stress. A lot of stress, as you can see there. So. Also, if you draw a trend line here, momentum wise, you can see we're breaking down as well. I can't do it here since it's a snapshot, but financials, ay. This one here, I did a post or like a poll. What do we see first for silver? New all-time high or retest of the 50-year cup and handle? 60% believes we're gonna see that whole retest. What do you think, guys? Again, in the chat, what do you think? What's gonna happen? Again, silver versus Bitcoin. That's a breakout. Happened last year. These are monthly candles, so this is summer last year. Resistance, right? Prior high. Makes sense. Could we see a little bit of a pushback here and then go again? Sure. But the long-term trend is definitely in favor for silver. Again, feel free to ask questions and all that. I'll be here for like an hour until the futures market opens, and then I'll get some sleep. I'll get some sleep. This one here was funny. Denmark to release 125,000 barrels of oil. Well, that fixes everything for sure. So dumb. I will answer the questions milled still. When more people are coming in, I'll start to pick up on the questions, so keep them coming, yeah? Keep them coming. This one here is, again, things are looking grim for metals. Yes and no. I would more phrase it as we're hanging in there by a cliff right now, you know, on a cliff hanging moment. Silver gold ratio, Renko. Okay, and you can see that the trend is clearly down. But if we lose the green one here, we could see yet another leg down, meaning silver to underperform while both metals goes down. So that is not great. And that is likely to be the last move down here. This is the first leg, second, potential third. So currencies are open already. Okay, I'll check that in just a minute. This one here, gold silver ratio. You can also see here that was the, you know, we called the top, you know, within a few days here. Didn't expect silver to drop 30% and all that, but and now we're setting up for yet another leg higher here, potentially backtesting that 78. That would be nasty. Going from 62 to 78 in the ratio. That means silver is to underperform by 30%. Oh, not good. Again, overall commodities. This is a 30-year chart. Still looks immensely bullish for commodities in general. So this big macro falling wedge into a pennant, boom. Very bullish commodities, very bad for the normal people. Very, very bad for the for us. Last one here. This was actually silver on March the 10th. Is that Thursday? Yeah. Very close to that breakout, but we failed and then we closed down here at like 80 or something, yeah? So we were very close to break. With that said, let's do silver here. Let's do silver 2 hourly. 2 hourly time frame. There it is. So this was where, that was where we was, you know, that post. So we really need silver to do that here for the next few days. Otherwise we start to potentially open up for another leg down. And you can see already now we're, depending on how you draw this, which can be a little bit iffy, but we are below. So if this is a false breakdown, I wouldn't mind, because then you can quickly see a sharp pullback. But for now, actually bearish, both on the price and also on momentum. Yeah, sad to see that. Good. Let's see what people are saying here. As always, you know, just type in the chat and we will have a look at whatever feels like it. I'm just going to look at, again, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but we're going to look at it anyways, just for the fun of it. This is, you know, crypto gold, whatever you want to call it. Bit of a, yeah, okay, not a whole lot to really. This was when the Iranian war broke out, and now we're doing something funky here. So what about, we have some silver here doing absolutely nothing. So over the weekend, not that it matters, because it's really not our go-to thing. Good, let's see. Silver miners with exploding oil. Let's do silver miners quickly. I just did an update on that. You can still see here, this is the SIL. For now, still looks great, to be fair. However, if we start to get below like 90, I think the top is in for this leg here. We're going to see a move down before eventually going higher. So we're still sitting, resting on top of that thing there, and the all-time high, as you can see. So still technically looks good, but it doesn't take much, right? This is the 2-hourly. These 3 are confirmed. We're looking for the 4th here. I'm expecting, again, some sort of impulse here, and hopefully it will be a strong one and not a weak one. So miners right now looks good. I have no issues with miners. That can change like that, to be fair. 90 and below. Roughly there. Then you break back below and losing short-term uptrends and all that. So that wouldn't be great. I mean, I'm not saying that we're gonna, do that, but we're gonna correct at least. Currencies are open, are they? Let's check. Oops. They are indeed. Oh yeah, we're still on summertime, wintertime here in Denmark for yet another week. Let's do currencies. That is fun, isn't it? That is actually quite fun. Here we have the Canadian dollar against the euro. Getting a, there were some falling wedges into long-term supports, breaking to the upside there. Getting a little bit of a short-term bounce, still long-term, which it still has a lot to do. USD Canadian. Whoops. See here, this is, wow, don't do that. No. This is the USD divided by the Canadian. Bear flagging, below that 3-year trend line. If we start to do that, means that the Canadian dollar is outperforming the US dollar. So kind of a big moment coming up here for that ratio pair. If it goes up, the dollar gains versus the Canadian and vice versa. False breakout there as well. So, and what you often see from a false breakout, you go to the other side. So maybe, just maybe. What else? USD Euro. There it is. We saw a little bit of a bounce, with the whole escalation of the war, but we are into resistance here. Oops, there it is, resistance all the way down. But let's see. It's a bit of an internal thing, so. I could see that happening, Gaston, with the 3-month consolidation in silver and gold. I mean, it's makes a lot of sense to me. Again, we've already had, that was February, March, so 6 weeks for now. Maybe we need the double amount, right? So we need like a 6 to 8 weeks more of sideways / correction for silver. Yeah, could be. But right now for silver, I think it's very, the one line that I would love to see silver break in the short term would be this one here. If that happens, all of a sudden, my mind switches and I'm short term very bullish again on silver. And the final moment will be that 90 break. So, anything north of 68 this week, 86 this week, and then ultimately 90. Cool. Then we're starting to look for upside again. Yep. Silver has support at 72. Let's check. And if you zoom out, 55 is the 200 DMA for silver. Okay, cool. Again, I don't have it on here. It's there. Isn't it? This is EMA. Mine says 62. Maybe it's, I don't know. But yeah, so close to 60 we have support. If you use the moving averages. Yeah, these lows here, I think is what you're talking about, the 72. Those lows right there. But again, the most important thing is the silver gold ratio. That's the key. It always is. It always is. 2 hourly. You can see here, again, this is still my view and it's still holding, barely, that what we have here is a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, potential, after we peaked out up there. And you can see here we are now finding support still. So we need to bounce and break. What we do not want to see is like continuation here and then start to break down. So yeah. Just to step ahead there always, I think silver right now looks weaker given the ratio, especially if we break down from here. You can see the underperformance by silver since we peaked out. So, but yeah. I think they might look equally weak right here, right now. Looking at the still picture that we have here, but looking a month back, we've basically gone sideways, but again, we had that initial 30% day down for silver. That is still, ouch. Again, 30%. I think it was even more from the highs to the lows that day. But they did a lot of things, you know, with the whole how much leverage you need to have and all that. Margins, excuse me, not leverage, margins. Momentum-wise, it's also very telling. You can see here we're about to slip 2 trend lines on momentum. We really need to reverse this one this week here. So, your view on the crash from the S&P 500 when everybody's talking about the opposite might happen. True, true. That is true. The SPX here. You can see here we are basically rounding, right? Rounding top here. Not ideal. So until that view changes, I'm actually bearish on the S&P 500. What else? What else? Miners has broken out versus the SPX in the long term, Gaston. Yep, it has. 100% true. And I think people need to understand that. We can do the GDX. By the way, the gold miners for the past year, roughly speaking, has been one of the best performing sectors by far. By far. So this one here, weekly, GDX divided by the SPX. I have a different ratio that I want to use, to be fair. It has all my doodles on it. So let's see here if we can find it. GDX, gold, nope, nope. SPX, AGY. That's also one way to look at it. That is, you know, the SPX divided by the gold bucks index. Big breakdown happened in 2024 and 2025. Breakdown, breakdown, breakdown. So yep, long term, by far, miners looks amazing. Again, it won't go in a straight line, obviously, but GDX divided by S. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Well, if that's the case, let's just do this. SPX. Ah, there it is. I think it looks amazing when you look at the long-term picture. Gold miners against SPX, broad markets. That's the downtrend that was broken in early 2025. And then we had this whole 10-year range breaking. So, I mean, I know where I would park my money if I were to look 5 years out. 100%. 100%. Also look here again, momentum wise. Big levels broken. Flipping green after 10 years roughly, or how, no, 4 years, cool. So, gold miners are way stronger than the SPX. Again, ratio wise. So yeah. Silver divided by DBA. Yes, we can do that. DBA, you mean the agriculture? Yeah, exactly. Again, look. That's drawn very quickly, by the way. You can see here we broke out over here, and now we're backtest again. So breakout backtest for now, with a lot of volatility, of course. But so yeah, long-term silver is a better play still. Absolutely. Maybe, it will go sideways, roughly speaking, for the next, I don't know, X amount of months, but this is basically the silver price, right? Because it has moved so much compared to DBA that you're basically looking at the silver price. Just who else? But I'm very bullish on the DBA. Don't get me wrong. Look at that. That is amazing. We're about to have a 2-year, roughly speaking, consolidation over. Big downtrend breakage happened in 2020, right? Major bull market ever since. Anything north of 28 I find very, very strong, yeah. Anything below 25, different story, but this looks like continuation to me until disproven. There might be something here I want to check just to see how that lines up. Yeah. Yep, that's good. Gold go lower and silver much less. Typically that's not, the way it works. Because then you would have the silver gold ratio to go up while both metals goes down, which is often not the case. So I'm not saying it can't happen, of course, but typically you see when the silver gold ratio goes up, that means both metal goes up, but silver stronger, and vice versa. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, thank you for the nice words, Gold. Just wanted to say thank you for the charts you post on X for the week. Helps me a lot to see your view. Yeah, I'm just again trying to do my best. Right or wrong. Again, everyone will be wrong sometimes, and everyone will be right. But yeah, doing my best. I don't post that much anymore on YouTube. That is mostly on the Substack. It was just I think, too much to do, with the whole two platforms uploading every video. So how do you see the possible sell-off affect the miners as well? It depends, but most likely yes. And the reason is, if we start to see silver and gold sell off from here, we will also likely see a big, let's do the gold silver ratio. We will likely see a decent breakout to the upside, meaning miners to go down. So the gold silver ratio goes up, or breaking out to the upside is always bad for the miners. Breaking down, very good. So yeah, if we start to see red numbers, going forward from here, we will see that triangle break, and miners will start to likely break down from that whole triangle we talked about, sitting on top of support. So, yep. That is why it is so key that we bounce here, to be fair. Because the miners has actually held up somewhat nicely, I would say, compared to gold and silver. It has held on, yes, we're down 20%, but compared to what the miners, silver and gold has done, you would expect more. But if we get that last push now, I think the ratio will break and you will see the miners come down more. So, hey Scott. We could do the ratio. It has been a while, actually, since I've been looking at that one. Like that. No? Silver? Yes. So you can see here, that was the... that was when silver, tanked 30%. So initially we gained some, right? And then we started to fizzle a little bit. So actually, since the high point of silver at 121, the miners is still somewhat like, up 20%, roughly speaking. But if silver is to come down further, I think we're going to slip and start to equalize again. So that one, though, will be very pretty when that breaks to the upside. If it does, of course, but I think it will, one way or the other. That will be the period where silver miners finally break out against silver, and then you will see big numbers on silver miners, absolutely. So yeah, if I wanted to buy a pullback in New York, any levels to look for? Okay. Yeah, it got hammered big time with this. I think it was steel prices or some output. Yeah, it got hammered big time. We will check out on the SID. Absolutely. I think I looked at it Wednesday, and it had come down quite far. IE on the New York Stock Exchange. Ivanhoe, I guess. Electric. It is breaking some stuff here right now for sure. I would do something like that. Again, roughly speaking. So I would just wait for that channel to break right now. If you want to buy, into support levels, I would say 11, roughly speaking, would be okay. I would expect some sort of bounce. How I would play it, though, is I would wait. Let's see if we wait for the tag and then we start to break. I would buy that break. So that would be my first kind of, okay, we bounce, cool, and then you break. That is how I would play it, and then have a stop loss below. But it has been hit quite hard. Other metals, okay. What is it? Exploration company, Santa Cruz Copper, okay. Just, yeah. Yeah, I would wait for now at least, for that channel to break. Otherwise I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, yeah. SID, let's have a look. I think the dividend also dropped. Wow, yeah, holy bananas. That has to be news, right? It has to be. Exactly. Yeah, that broke down, you can see. That's never good. That's actually really, really bad. We broke below 1.3. So it needs to come back quickly, but for now that looks very bearish, absolutely. Ah, could be, yeah, you could be. But that is extremely bad. Did it all start with the war thing? Yeah, it did. Right, this is the, yeah, it basically, ever since the war started, you know, and high oil prices, it collapsed. Yeah, that's not good. Ouch. That is not ideal. It needs to undo that quickly. Dividend, is it high enough to... And no dividend either. Okay, that is bad. At least according to TradingView, you have no dividend now. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. That sucks. That sucks. Lovely triangle, actually, but... yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's nothing for us right now here on SID, unfortunately. Yeah, the war started there, right? Or there, I can't remember. But down like 60%. Oh, not 60, but 30%. Ow. Damn. You can't get them all. Ah, above, not below. Above. Maybe could have been sold there, to be fair, but okay. Anyway. Anyways. And they even removed the dividend, so that must have been really bad. But it should be the final leg low, right? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be the final leg low? I think it is, but yeah. The mines will break out one day, sure enough, I agree, but I assume max pain moment still incoming. The broad market is at a tipping point, yeah. Yeah, I mean, depending on the speed of things with regarding to QQQ and all that, maybe. It will take down a lot of stuff, but I'm actually more worried about the financials right now. Because that is much, much more important to the big people. Banking sector cannot fail, right? It can't fail. But XLF, which is the financials, I don't know exactly what is inside that whole ETF, but a heavy-weighted U.S. financial segment capped SPF means large banks. Okay, no small banks. So okay, so this seems like it is large banks, but it's starting to look a little bit grim, doesn't it? Not in the big picture, but that is a breakdown nonetheless. Internal breakdown. It couldn't break through that upper trend line, and people watching that wedge going on, and yep, big breakdown for the banking sector this week. This is weekly candles. You can see here we had a bit of a doji, so we did break down, but we didn't quite decide, and then we had to follow through that last week, and yeah, that is not good. Oh. How low can this go? Potentially. All the way back to 42. And we are now sitting at 49, so you're talking 20%. How about momentum? Yeah, look at that. It seems like game over, right? At least for the next few months. Definitely bearish right now on the banking sector. Ow. That's not good. Fro, cup and handle? Cup and handle on Fro, really? Could be. Yeah, back testing. Yeah, I mean, this one is one we watched for quite a while, and it's not perfect, but it's there. That is roughly 15 years worth of bottom structure. And what happened now is we're back testing that neckline / zone. So as long as we hold above basically 24, roughly speaking, from a long-term picture, Fro looks really good. Maybe the war will make this a false breakout, who knows, but for now, I like that. Breakout backtest here. Target 170. Potentially. Not tomorrow, don't get me wrong, but yeah. This is shipping, and you're getting quite a good deal on the dividend, so maybe I'll sell my SID and go into Fro, to be fair. But I agree with what you're saying, Scott, that since we are at such a late stage into that move on SID, I think this is the third capitulation. But nonetheless, we had that big breakdown, so unfortunately. Oh, thank you here again for the 15. Appreciate it. Val and Val warrants. Oh, we did that last time as well. This is a possible bullish pennant forming on the warrants. My technical suck. That's my good. I'll do my best as always, Hugh, as you know. There is the what's the name for the warrants? Can you check while I look at the oh, that has to be the big pop there. What is that? The Monday? Yeah, okay. Monday oil. Valaris looks good on the company level, but if you can find the warrants for me, the ticker, I will have a look. Again, as always, just a reminder. Let's say things ease off down there, it could close that gap. It could. That was a lovely inverse head and shoulder breakout there. Been long ever since, actually. Maybe I can find them myself. My Valaris warrant. Does it just say warrants? No. Valaris peel. No, I think you have to find the warrants for me. The ticker, that is. Otherwise, I don't think I can. I want to change the music. What do we want to hear? Sure, why not? But yeah, Valaris, let's have a quick look here. It gapped up that Monday morning with the war, and oil pumped, broke out from that 67. Almost to the tick, that was the level. Beautiful. Nailed that one just like the Platinum 1050, in my view. I know Burak, he was a little bit earlier, but he's also really good, so I don't mind being 2 days late when it comes to his calls. He's amazing, so. So yeah, just again with oil long term, I mean, this seems like a clear winner to me. So the messages is not going through. No, really? Really? JPEG, you mentioned something. Shadow band, really? I'm just gonna try to find it over on a different screen here. Valaris warrants price. Could it be this one here? Val Plus on the no. No. It has a funny name, but I can't find it, so. Val V? Oh. I think we looked at them last time, didn't we? So we can't find them, but up. There they were. They were down here, right? Yeah, they look somewhat similar to, I mean, with a bit of an offset, but you can see here they're fighting those highs. Anything above that, and you will probably see a big surge into that. How high? I don't know, to be fair. Maybe a double? 30? Maybe 30? But the charts are very similar, as if you look at the Valaris chart as well, even though it's angled a little bit differently. But yeah, I think 25, sure, why not? It's a bit difficult to do any projections here, I would say. This was the downtrend we looked at, remember? So if it can break, selling at 25, yeah. Again, I'm not a warrant guy, so I'm not. There's also isn't there also like a timing issue, you know, with the time decay or whatever it's called? I could be wrong though. Or is that only options? I don't know. Okay, you have until. Okay, cool, yeah. Okay. Okay, sure. 131. And here, okay, cool. Okay. What was the price now? Yeah, okay, makes sense. You can see here the chart is very similar, you know, that whole blue wedge breaking down, breaking out again. Somewhat similar, yes. Somewhat. $130. 130, could it be? Yeah, okay. I think it will. I think you have how many years? 2? I would be surprised if that doesn't happen, given the long-term chart for oil. I would be very surprised if you don't see that. Very surprised. SM Energy is starting to look good. Might be worth a look. Let's have a look, Scott. Can I remember the chart here? No, I can't remember. I'm just thinking. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, it starts to look interesting. It does indeed, yeah. We're getting back inside this sideways range after a bit of a oops. So absolutely, it starts to look really good for SM here. As long as we hold 25, yeah, sure. False breakdown, we could go all the way to the other side, which is like 50. Are we breaking momentum here? I think we are. Yes. Oh, barely, but that's really good, right? It can be bought here, yes, or you wait for like a lower time frame entry. So let's say here we go, we are on the weekly now, so you drop down daily to hourly, and then you wait for like a consolidation thing at some point in time, right? Depend on what it does, right? So yeah, look for longs, absolutely. Resistance at around, where's that, 29, these highs there, so that's the next barrier to break through. These bit of a gap as well, so you can see that. So 28 to 30, 29 to 28 resistance. So hopefully, what would be nice is we tag, we start to recharge, you break, you have a stop, and you target, I would say, just north of 50. That's how I would do it. So Bitcoin up strong, really? Bitcoin up strong? Yeah, I would say in this environment, 1.5% is actually quite good. Yeah. Yep. We're back above. Yeah. I like your view always. Be thankful. I like your. Yeah. It's not looking too bad, isn't it? Yeah, that's actually quite a nice fractal also sitting up here. And if Bitcoin is doing well, the world is not ending. That is for sure. So that's good. A good catch, by the way. Good catch. And this is 15 minutes before the open. So maybe. Yeah, it is. It's very good. It's very good. I've been 2 times somewhat, not in value, but in percentage terms, heavily invested into crypto. But I haven't been invested in crypto for like, I don't know, 4 years or so. I mean, heavily invested. I have some small stuff, but it is what it is. Yeah, oil could say, screw you, and then just gab up. But we shall see. Is there like an overnight, weekend ticker for oil? Just to see where we are now. I saw some charts last week, which was during the week, and it was up like 10% or $10, and that was quite on point. Oh, that's a good song. Personal Jesus Depeche Mode. That's so good. IG, how do you? That's a different website now, isn't it? Or is it just me? Um, 2 hours. Oh, my eye. Yeah, it'll. Friday. Yeah, it's up. What is it up like? Not much. 2%, 1%. If I'm not mistaken. 1% or so, 2%. And again, thank you, Hugh, for the nice donation. Again, I added squats into my workout routine, and I haven't been able to walk the entire weekend. Damn, it's such a good exercise, but the first few times you're getting mauled, so. Yeah, SID, again, those high oil prices, that was not good. Ow. Ow. But I do still believe that SID, you have that third leg low coming in now. You just don't know how low it will go before it comes off. But We could do one thing though. We could do one thing if we assume that this is the count. No, it doesn't make any sense, does it? No. Maybe at one, you know, not parity, but yeah. CLF, Cleveland. Ooh. Yeah, it looks a bit heavy, right? It needs to bounce here. You're absolutely correct. It needs to bounce right around there. Support though, yes, but it needs to bounce. You're correct. Oh, that looks heavy. I agree. Steel, also steel, yeah. Yeah, me too. And I've done leg workouts for quite a while, right? But the squats thing, I mean, and I had very low weights on, but I'm completely smoked. And I need to run. I have a 10K tomorrow. I don't know how I will be able to do that. So, but squats are like squats are insane. Rick looks ooh, okay. Yes, it looks. Go away, you. That's actually quite a good breakout here early. And then we have the big blue, which I consider to be, even though it has an angle, which is fine. I think it's still within the category of being. So yeah, it starts to look very good. Indeed. Very, very good. And these are big time frames, by the way. That's 15 years. This one here. That's 15 years. I own through Val. Okay. Sure, okay. Yeah, I mean, my view here is that, again, with oil, over the next 3-5 years, will be a lot higher where we are today. And that's actually quite a, again, this starts in 2015. So, oh, okay, 11 years. Maybe we flag here a little bit, but ultimately, I think we're going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we see roughly $35-40 here over this decade. So, and what is it now? $6? Yeah. So 5 years speaking, from 6 to like 30, with a pit stop at around 18, and you can sell half if you want to. It looks good to me. It looks very good to me. Steel should go up too. Yeah, it should. I mean, everything should go up. Maybe steel is getting hit hard initially here for whatever reason, but yeah, I agree. Do we have steel futures? Wow, steel futures? No, I don't think so. Steel long futures. I don't know if this is correct now. If we assume, I mean, this is not the worst looking, is it? I think that's actually quite a decent view. If this reflects some sort of steel price. Breakout backtest, okay. Yeah, coal looks amazing. It really does. It absolutely does here. That whole wedge broke out September last year. It did spend some time. Not that one, excuse me. This one here. I'm using the Newcastle, but also the premium cooking coal futures looks really strong. But yes, wedge break, back tests, 8-year back test, triangle break. It looks really really good. Short-term resistance, that's fine. Could turn into a head and shoulder, which would also be a buying opportunity. But yeah, coal looks amazing. It absolutely does. And this one here is Australian premium coking coal. Perfect uptrend, right? So if we just repeat perfect symmetry, we could see some ridiculous prices. 10x, maybe. Not 10x, excuse me. I can't do math. I'm an idiot. 7x. Yeah. So coal absolutely looks very strong. Flipping green here almost again, also on momentum. Last time we did that, we did see something quite insane. 5 minutes until we open. Just for fun and giggles. And what we are most interested in is this one here. Actually, that's almost always the most interesting. Silver gold ratio. So if we, over the next 2 days, can clear that green one, I would be a happy man. That is what, I'm hoping for. We do not want that. We don't want that. We want this. Ramco Resources. Is that coal? It's funny it came down that far, to be fair. Nice break there. Okay. SCX. Sunk. It's also, that is steel, okay. It has some work to do, but it is at some sort of funky support here. But it still has work to do. Are we gapping up? I think we're gapping down, to be fair. That in itself is not my biggest worry. I think gapping down could actually be more bullish, in my view. Then close the gap and you climb higher. Should we use the, we have the one that is updated straight away. Like a gap down, flush the last few people and then go. That would be okay to me, but I haven't checked the very short time frames on METs or METC. So I haven't checked. Bitcoin. This is the 2 hourly on Bitcoin. Looks like it's giving a, it's doing a really good job right now. So, but let's see if it can hold. What about the overall? I haven't checked the total market cap crypto. That is always interesting. Still long term, really bearish, but we might have a big backtest coming up at around 2.5 trillion. Why is that important? I want to show you two things. You can see the support, or the previous support we broke down. Meanwhile, we broke down from the red uptrend, and now we're doing the backtest. So if you can start to get back in, all of a sudden you can see some strength coming into crypto, meaning risk on. And even more so if you start to break the shorter term stuff here. So of course, if this is a breakdown, bear flag continuation, you get the other side of the coin. So that's actually a very interesting, I think I want to follow that a bit more. We're up, what did we do? I can't see. We haven't opened yet. It should be now, yeah? We're still on summertime, I hope. Otherwise, it's in 1 hour, and I will not be up for 1 hour. I will not be up for one more hour. Because Denmark goes to summertime in 1 week. And I think most of other places has already changed. Maybe is it because I'm on the wrong one? Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, 2% on oil. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Silver down. Ah, okay. For now, at least, not anything important at all. We've seen worse in the past 6 weeks. We've seen way worse. I don't have anything on this ticker, so that's why. The dollar is also down, which is interesting. With a huge push low on gold. Okay. ICE. I think it's on ICE. No. Yeah. Here we had the gap down, and now we're trying to close. $5K, big level. 5K is a huge level. What if we do this instead? We do this and then we go to the ICE just to get the short term, the fully updated views on the ratio. Okay, might be a little bit too soon. See, this one here is more important. It should be green. But again, we've only been open for like 2 minutes. So. The Fourth Turning by Neil Ho. I think you'd like it. I actually ordered 2 books yesterday. The Fourth Turning? I'm going to check that. Because I have made it a like a goal to read more books. Fourth, I've seen that title before. If I can just, I have it. Why do I use my phone? Fourth Turning, yeah. By Neil Ho. Okay. Let me just check. Did I order that? That is a huge coincidence if I did. I can't even remember which book that's only one. That's only two. No, but I will definitely have a look. I should have ordered it meanwhile. Anyway, but thank you. Thank you. 1 minute chart here, silver gold ratio. Again, that's all that matters really. Silver underperforming now at least. But again, that can change quickly. I would love to see a bounce here. I'm not going to lie. Right. Oil is, what is oil doing? Okay, 1%. Just gonna do something, check oil here. Yeah, I still think oil is going to 104 until it sees, you know, anything big of resistance. There's a gap likely to be filled, yes. There's also a gap here, breakaway gap. How much did we gap up? I think it was over here. Ooh, 12%. I remember that. That was sick. The measured move, have we hit it? This is done quickly, so don't be too precise. Yeah, 103. Yeah, that's the bottom head and shoulder here target, which is also like a target from over here, or like a resistance from over there. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we can hold here. Again, there is a person on X called Mary, who's like a day trader. A nice follow. I would urge you all to follow her. Let me find her. Where is she? Here. Mary Taylor. She's expecting that move down. She marked roughly, what is that? 77.8-ish? Which would be something like down here. And then back to 90. Again, if that's the case, we break our all-time high trend line, and all of a sudden, if we are back at 90, and she expected to happen this week, again, at least according to that initial analysis, that would be immensely bullish all of a sudden, right? Because then we're actually getting some hope. 72, yeah, you have these lows here, right? Yeah. But she's really good. I would follow her. Mary dash whatever CFA underscore, excuse me, CFA. But she's a lot more like, you know, intraday 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, you know, trading. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's do like 2 more minutes. So if any final questions, I will quickly give my view, and then I will get some sleep. I'm actually enjoying that right now. You know, the futures market is opening 1 hour earlier. As you can see, it's 11 a.m. here, p.m. Sorry. But next week it will be back to normal with no sleep. Or at least less sleep than what we have now. I need a haircut as well. 3 p.m. here, okay. Yeah, okay. Where do you live? 3 p.m. So it's That has to be. That has to be West Coast USA. Or yeah, exactly. California. Yeah, that was a good guess. West Coast USA. California. Copper, what are you doing, Copper? Oh, it's not open yet. Okay, I was just going to say, but other than that, it's pretty very calm open compared to what we have seen, in the past at least 2 weeks, but also since the highs of 2026. But yeah, too expensive, I can imagine. California. What is like a normal weather temperature in California? Because I've always made this joke that in California you have between, like, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but between 26 degrees and then plus minus like 4 degrees. I could be completely wrong though. What's a typical day when it's sunny, or the average temperature in California? What is that? Then I will do the translation myself from Fahrenheit to. It depends, JPEG. What's the time frame? Because if it's unlimited, absolutely you will win. So very stable mid 20s. Okay, yeah, exactly. And what's the variation? Is it? I think it's very somewhat stable, right? Or do you have? Okay, 10 degrees during winter. Okay. 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 What about if you have a really hot summer? Is it like 35 or? Because we had a really cold winter here in Denmark. We had like minus, I don't know, 20, and it was snowing for like a month. This one here is a fractal that I'm looking at. That would be awesome, right? That would be amazing if that can happen. To the upside, that is. So, yeah, we do like this now. Actually, when we have like minus 5 degrees, whatever, no wind, no clouds, just the sun is shining. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, that's a very boring open, isn't it? Bitcoin, yeah, let's see when we wake up here in like 6 hours. So, but other than that, flat as I don't know. Wheat, yes, yes, let's do wheat. I mean, I mean, the chart that is. Um, we're gonna do weekly. We're gonna zoom out just 20 years, 20 long years. Let's do monthly, actually. Let's do monthly. Yeah, good night always. Yeah, let's wait for China to see what happens. Let's see. Let's see. These are the wheat futures. That was a view we had for quite a while. We're gonna hit this trend line here, and likely to bounce out from that falling wedge. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised over the coming, let's give 4 years. Maybe even, I would say, probably a little bit less, but let's say 4 years. We're gonna do a double from here, a bit more. This is long term, of course. But look for any bullish setup, any bull flag, any sideways consolidation breakouts and all that on wheat. That is the ticket to get in my view, on wheat. So this is the weekly, so drop down to the 2 hourly, and then if you see a, let's say we do this, whatever you go long. The NASDAQ, that's the NQ, yeah. Looks, yeah. Not a whole lot to say about the NASDAQ opening up here. I need to change that one now, actually. You can see here the NASDAQ is still somewhat capped within a, what is that? Almost half a year of sideways action. Levels to look for, 23,900. That's the low one. And the breakout will happen at 26.3. I don't know, it might be delayed here. I haven't, maybe it's different now. Where are we now? It's 5. So yeah, I'm delayed 10 minutes, so that might be the reason why. Maybe we're down here, I don't know. Yeah, silver and fertilizers, you know, should be really good. They're probably the ones that are going to perform really well compared to others. 24.3 now, 24.3. 24.3. That is, okay, yeah, okay, that is, yeah. And you know, the first 5 minutes, I think it's, well, is it the 15 minutes? I can't remember. There is like a day trading. One rule is the first candle. I can't remember the time frame, if it is the 5 minute or the 15 minute. That if it is the 15 minute or the 5 minute, excuse me, then they wait. That's the first candle. Again, for the day here. They short below, or at least they're looking for shorts below, and then they're looking for longs above. So that is their death zone. Nothing happens in here, basically. Right, that's what they're waiting for. Again, there are more to it, but that is one of the, is it like a golden rule? I don't know. I don't know. So. Rates, oh yeah, rates has been on a schizophrenic journey. By the look of things, again, technically we haven't breaking out or anything, but you can see the levels here. Anything north of 5.17 on the 30-year, and you surge higher. We did have some breakdowns, but we're recovering. The past 2 candles is since the war began. Yet another war, but the Iranian war. And you started to see yields spike again across the board, every country and every region. So anything, I would say, below 4.5 is probably the big technical breakdown. And anything above 5 let's call it 5.2. And yeah, rates is going to go higher. But this could be that false breakdown. Could be. Agriculture, yeah, okay. Agriculture will also do great. There is the yeah. Looks very good. Maybe you consolidate here for like a week or 2 or 3. But again, overall, over the coming few years, we're going to see agriculture to go way higher. No, I don't think that, you know, the yields has been beating inflation for the past 30 years. Maybe in some periods, but no. I think the real inflation is going to be a lot higher than what you're getting from Like, if it's 5% on the 30-year, I would say the real inflation, overall cost of living, is easily double. Easily. So you need to be beating like 10% per year in my view, just to be break even. Rough numbers, but you get the idea. So neckline support short term here, maybe, but you can see the trend lines here. They are very precise, very precise. That one there, that's the lower end of it. Maybe this one here is a bit more tricky, the upper end. Maybe it doesn't have any, but the lower end is very clear. So yeah, I will do my best to update. I think it's going to be a week where a lot of miners can be bought, or we will see a lot of a sell-off, meaning hedging, selling is definitely an option. Silver down 1% now. Yeah, let's 32 or 72 makes, yeah, sure. It's down here at the big double support. So but I would be, if you're looking for numbers, I would be looking into the gold silver ratio more, to be fair. I would say if we start to see okay, 72, that is remarkable. You meant 72 on silver, but 72 on the gold silver ratio and above, start to looking for new investments into silver miners if we see that move. It's funny how that was the same number actually, yeah. So tomorrow when I wake up, I want to see. Oh, that's too. I can't. That might be a bit too much. Good. That's it, guys. I want to get some sleep. Let's see where we stand tomorrow. But by the look of things, at least for now, we're getting a breakout to the upside in gold to silver ratio, which is not good for metals, miners, overall. That's not good. Nasdaq, SPX, it doesn't matter. So have a good one, guys. Cheers.